Rogue logic. This is the way.
Minutes overtime. Philosophically, what is happening in our country that this kind of anger has reached this level?
It's very polarizing. I don't know how we got this way, but I do know there were situations that happened, like when Hillary Clinton declared that we were all deplorables because we voted for Trump. The way I've been portrayed in the media and a character of myself that doesn't exist, that people in the public feel like they can come after me or someone like me. And
oh, Marge, you're such a victim. Oh, it isn't that. What an innocent person.
Laying it on
She
rather
doesn't ever
thickly.
say anything horrific about all the people that don't fit into her Christian nationalist plan. Gee, I have a tear in my eye for you, Marge.
And it's just absolutely wrong. But the political polarization that's happened in our country, I believe it's a true tragedy, and it's terrible.
So I just listened to your answer, and here's what you did. You attacked the Democrats and you attacked the media. In one sentence.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's what's happened.
No, Marge, that isn't what's happened. What's happened is that your extremist views are batshit crazy, and now you're starting to see the light that you want to have a long tenure in Congress, and you don't want to be associated with that anymore. So you're going on mainstream media, 60 Minutes, and trying to make out as if you have views that aren't hateful, bigoted, and anti-American. That's what's going on, Marge.
I believe I threw up in my mouth a bit.
But there must be something else, because Democrats are being abused as well. It's not just one side. That's the thing. It's like a virus.
Well, I don't know what it is. People hear things and see things, and then they react.
People hear things and see things. Wow, that's like right out of Trump's playbook. People hear and people hear and people say, well, I've heard that. Wow, really? That's the best you can do, Marge? This is so much bullshit.
It's just a tragedy of where we are today. And I don't want to attack the media, Leslie. I actually truly support.
You support the media, Marge? Really? Oh my goodness. Which media would that be? Would that be the far right propaganda machine? Because I don't think that you support any media. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not sticking up for any of the mainstream media because they're all bought and sold by corporations. Go ahead, Marge.
The press in this country. I believe the freedom of press is one of our greatest freedoms and rights, but I don't like the way they have portrayed me, and they have lied about me many times.
I'm feeling stupid just listening to her.
You don't like the way they portrayed you. You are a congresswoman, and you are seen over and over pulling foolish stunts, acting like a complete fool, not understanding laws, not understanding anything at all about what it is that you're doing. You complained over and over about how your time in Washington was keeping you away from your family. Well, Marge, what did you think being a congressperson meant? Did you think that you would only have to work once in a while? I really just have no sympathy for you.
I'm tearing up a bit.
As a member of the media, I find that word is a little confusing because it encompasses everybody who's on television or on the radio, all of us in the same salad bowl. And there are a lot of people who are called media who wear their opinions on their sleeves. You know where they're coming from. And there are others who really try to be in the middle and try not to be what you're saying we all are. So
Yes,
we have to have this debate.
I would love to, because it's a good.
Let's stop right there, too. And before I forget, shame on you, 60 Minutes. No matter how difficult the questions you may have asked, or how pretty much you are just throwing softballs, either way, allowing this creature to go on to a long established program like 60 Minutes and not take into account that this woman is an insurrectionist, a supporter anyway of insurrection of the country, promoted the lie that there was an election that was fraudulent when there wasn't, supports people who attacked the Capitol building. This is basically legitimizing Marjorie Taylor Greene and allowing her to now be presented as, oh, I'm just misunderstood. That's all. I don't understand. Yes, you do, Marge. You do understand. You know what you are, and you know what you're doing, and you are not in good faith trying to help the American people unless they are Christian nationalist bigots.
Just like her.
Good conversation to have. And I think that journalism it's almost like a lost art, or maybe it's dying. It needs to come back because it's so important.
You have told us that you support the press, you support the freedom of the press.
No.
And so I'm curious what you support exactly.
I'm one of the few members of Congress that would defend your freedom. I'm not going to be one of those people out there yelling fake
Absolute
news,
lies.
fake news. I've said it before, but I've kind of decided I don't like it. And I really want to have a good relationship with the press because I think it's important.
I really want to stay in power for as long as I possibly can. And I want to really push my Christian nationalist beliefs onto everyone in this country because I don't understand that America has been founded on the separation of church and state. So that's what I really want. That's what I'm really saying. I'm a liar.
I think information is valuable.
60 Minutes overtime.
Now let's talk about Ukraine. So you're opposed to giving weapons and aid to help Ukraine fight off the Russians. It strikes me that that's what Putin wants.
I don't really care about what Putin wants.
You don't care about what Putin wants? Well, that's interesting because I already listened to this a little bit, so I know what you're about to say. But we all know that you tend, like your cult leader, to have this strange support for what would be basically completely anti-American. You can't get any further away from our values of freedom than communism and oligarchy. But let you continue there, Marge.
If we must.
I voted for the first resolution to denounce Putin and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. What I have voted against is funding a war in Ukraine. The entire time I have been saying the United States needs to be pushing for peace in Ukraine, not funding a proxy war with Russia. We can't afford another foreign war.
If we withdraw our aid right now, then Russia will be right up on the Polish border, and that's a NATO country. And if they attack Poland, we'll have to come to their aid.
I've looked. I cannot find anywhere where Putin says he wants to invade Poland.
I'm asking.
Oh, man. Oh, wow, that is rich. That is she can't Marjorie Taylor Greene cannot find anywhere where Putin has said that he wants to invade Poland. Poland. Wow. I mean, he's such a trustworthy guy.
Well, good enough
Yeah,
for me.
right, Marge. I can understand. And what? Unless you're even more of a traitor than I think you are. What do you have? Putin's classified documents in a playbook somewhere, so you know what he is and what he isn't going to do. I mean, my this is total idiotic behavior, and I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna continue to pause for a minute because I know what Marge is gonna say. Well, that would be different, and Poland is part of NATO, and the Ukraine isn't. Oh, okay. Well, let's just let the buffer zone between communist Russia and Poland, let's just let that just go because they're not part of NATO. And, the fact that Putin has basically just without any pause whatsoever killed hundreds and hundreds and thousands of women and children, bombed hospitals. Oh, but I don't, you know what? I don't even know what to say to somebody like this. Oh, she's a good Christian though.
Asking if that doesn't worry you and that we'll be concerned to the point that almost will be attacked because we're a member of NATO.
We are a member of NATO, and we have a treaty. Ukraine is not a NATO member nation, but look at us now. We are funding a proxy war in Ukraine with Russia. President Biden is committed, and he said he will go as far as he needs to go to defend Ukraine.
And let's keep something in mind, that if her cult leader Trump were back in office, let's just say that he had been reelected now, and he decided that for whatever reason, whatever gain he would have, now I don't think he would do this. I think he would be siding with Putin myself, but that's my opinion. If he decided that we would go all out and do whatever it takes to defeat Russia, you, Marge, would be fully 100% behind him. You are a liar.
Ukraine is not a NATO member nation. So Russia is going in. Russia is fighting this war with Ukraine, not Poland.
What about the argument that if we withdraw our money and our weaponry now, China will read that as weakness? China will say the Americans can't be relied upon, and it might encourage China to invade Taiwan.
Now you're asking what happens if we just pull out of Ukraine.
Right.
Let me ask you a question back. Why can't we push for a peace deal in Ukraine?
But then
why is war the only answer?
The Russians will be rewarded.
You can do that, Marge. You can do. See, this is the problem when you don't have someone who has critical thinking skills. Okay? Now, we can give aid to the country that is being hostilely is being invaded by a hostile nation, okay, and at the same time, we probably have a lot of our diplomatic abilities, our diplomats going to Russia, if we're even still on any terms that are available, and trying to get some type of peace treaty. We have sanctions against Russia. I'm sure there are many avenues that we're trying, but it doesn't work with someone who basically hasn't given himself an off-ramp. And Putin, at this point, I don't think he's going to listen to anything. So, again, here we go, Marge. You don't really think things through before you speak.
For invading a country.
Or, I'm sorry, Ukraine is not the 51st state of the United States.
No, but is it right to let him attack another country that's not at war with them, and then you say just let them take what they've gotten so far?
It's not about right and wrong, but let me say this, it's not about
It's
not about what's right and wrong in Ukraine, because we're the United States of America. And again, we have mud all over our face, Leslie. We're $31 trillion in debt. We're not defending our own border. We're ignoring our own people's problems.
That's completely not true either. The border policy has not changed significantly since Trump's departure from the presidency. So that's a bullshit talking point, and we're always in debt. And you know who got us in debt? Well, I'm not even going to bother with that right now, but this is all. What does this have to do with the point that you're being asked? Don't try to turn it around. Answer the question.
Problem.
Hold on, buddy. Hold on.